All right, we're in business. So, thank you for tuning in to June and Joe exposing the modern dating market. And today's subject, we're going to focus on talking about should couples move in and live together before they get married. So, yeah, it's something that a lot of couples nowadays probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about the positives and the negatives of moving in together. And sometimes, like you said in the last episode, it just happens. Things happen in life, and then all of a sudden you're living with your partner, and you haven't even prepared or planned or nothing, and all of a sudden you're living together. So I wanna ask you a few questions. I want to go over a few points and see if we lean one way or the other way, and maybe maybe we'll see. I got a few points. I want to see what you think about that. All right.
All right.
Okay. So my initial position on this, even though I've done this plenty of times, my position still remains the same. I don't think couples should move in before they get married or before they get engaged, before there's that kind of commitment.
All right.
Um, yeah, I got, there's for example, one reason why I think that's a absolutely horrible idea is that couples who just based on science, if we want to start with that, based on scientific literature, the divorce rate for people who move in together before they get engaged is 34% compared to 23% for couples who actually waited until they're engaged or got married, for example. So there's some, that's I don't know exactly how many people got tested and how many people that were asked and how this study was exactly done, but that's the results it came up with, that the chances are higher you're gonna, get a divorce before, unless, if you don't wait, until engagement. Another
Well,
another thing that, that something you brought up last time, another thing what happens is people move in together, they cohabitate, and, they they haven't really talked about the financials, the bills, all these different things that they end up sharing. So what do you think leads to that people get more divorced when they, live together before they're engaged or married? What do you think is the reason for that?
actually, I wanted to back it up a little bit, because based on the scientific information you just gave to the audience and to myself, um, it only strengthens the fact that I say, wait a minute, these people don't actually know each other, right? The fact that they've been dating and not being together day in and day out is the reason, is also detrimental reason why at a given moment you're gonna be, I don't like him or I don't like her anymore. Because now you got married to a person that you think you knew for 2, 3 years, you've been dating. Now you're married to her, you're there every day, and you find out that she's a slob, or you find out that he's a pig. And
Yeah.
or this person is just now just sitting there waiting for you to take care of him or her, and you're not about that. See, this is the thing. You understand? There is no quick fix or the best way to go about that unless you start asking questions and say, listen, we're planning to do something. Now, this is the thing, in my opinion, that us humans make mistakes, but there's very relatively quick fix. We don't go about our relationship as we go about business or as we go about a big investment. You know, um, I can elaborate that real quick. You're going to buy a car. You're going to find out for the money you want to spend, which is the best brand, and then you're going to find out how the mileage works and stuff like that. Or you want to buy a house. you're gonna do some research. You're gonna do your diligence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any big purchase that is supposed to be for a long time, even if it's a television, you're gonna sit down and go through the brands and go to the manuals and stuff like that before you go out to the shop and buy it. You know, and
Yeah.
in this case, this is really similar. You know, who are you? Are you clean? Do you like to clean the house? Do you like to do this? Do you like to cook? No, you don't like to cook, but I love to cook. Oh, so then the man is going to cook. And you're going to do, you are going to cook from time to time, but I do the most cooking because I love to cook and stuff like that, right? These
Yeah.
conversations happens before you move in together, regardless if you're getting married or not. You're going to get married to a person, right? Because this is the thing with nowadays. It's a little bit different than back in the day. If you get married nowadays, in the back of your head, you're like, if it doesn't work out, we just divorce. So there's
Right.
nothing really keeping you. You don't think that the ring is going to keep you or the promise you made to God is going to keep you guys together, right? It's just it
Well, I
didn't work
mean,
out well or it didn't work out. You know what I mean?
I'm I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the idea that nothing is guaranteed, and I don't think that's an argument because for me, obviously, there's no guarantee. Even if you get married and everything is perfect, your partner might die. They might get sick. So many different things could happen why that marriage does not last, right?
Wait, wait.
But
There's two different things. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's two different things. See, you said anything could happen why the marriage did not last. I said this could happen when the marriage don't work out. See, those are two absolute different things.
well, absolutely. But it's still the point is still the idea that you could test drive somebody before you make a full commitment is actually the wrong way about going about it because once if you want to see if somebody's clean and how they live. I mean, you spend a little bit of time in the relationship with them and getting to know them and seeing how they live, how their other relationships work with their parents, and do they keep their car clean? Do they? I mean, there's so many different things that you could check before you move in with the person. I mean,
I
how
don't
do you?
agree
Why
with
do
that.
you think?
I
Why do
don't
you
agree with
think?
that at all.
I mean,
Sorry, I don't.
still back to the question. The first question was 34% of marriages end if people lived together before they got engaged or married,
That's exactly
compared
the
to
reason. That's
compared
exactly
to
the reason.
compared to if they did not live together, but as soon as they got engaged, then moved in together, only 23% of them divorced. Why do
Well,
you
that's not
think
true. That's not true. That's not true because the
it is
in
true?
general. Hang on. No, no, wait. In
Well, it is true.
general,
I mean,
uh,
I can
no, no,
show
no.
you
Hang
the
on.
study.
It's not true because we're talking about percentages, right? And
Yeah,
how many percentage of marriages fail nowadays?
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
No, no, no.
specifically.
Because we are. Because now you listen. The thing is, if you're gonna divide those two groups, and I say, well, if I see here online that almost 80%, 76% of the people that get married divorce within 2 years. And it's not divided. But these math don't add up.
It does add up. It
Okay.
does add up because there's a specific reason. Once you isolate the people who live together compared to the people who did not live together, there is a difference. The ones that did not live together and got engaged and then lived together, they have a higher success rate. So my question is, why do you think that is? And
No,
saying it's
you
not.
can't.
I
I
mean,
can't tell you. I can't tell you.
you can't just say, well, it's not.
It's
That's
not an
not really.
argument. I understand.
It's not an
But
argument. Exactly.
yeah, but this is the fact though. You can't ask a question and then just answer that question without really looking at all the back. Look, let me tell you. Let me put it like this: if I've been in relationships, right? And I mean, the most people have been in a relationship. If your partner just gets up and say, "Well, I'm not feeling you anymore," and let's just call it a day. In that case, if you're boyfriend girlfriend, you go your own way. If you're not, you go get a divorce. Okay, and whoever asks for the divorce, that's at this point not even relevant. We know who it is, but at this point it's not even relevant. The fact is that they don't feel that they're really gelling too much, so they get in a divorce. Okay, let's be honest on that one. Now, if your question is, why do you think that if people live together before, less of them, not all of them, less of them get a divorce, and people who did not live together before, less of them gets a divorce? That is so, it could be a million things that people, there isn't a reason to get a divorce or not get one, right? It could be, it could be an unreconciliation. What they call that again? You know what it is, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I understand.
yeah. I
But
mean,
there's
what kind of reason is that? But people get divorced on that one, a lot.
yeah, there's a million different reasons, but I think the way you start uh cohabitation, I think
Yeah,
matters.
I
And
don't think.
that
I do
I
not think so.
I do think so. And
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. So, for example, sometimes like you said, what happened to you where a girlfriend lost her place. Now all of a sudden she's living with you and you weren't even ready. So in that case, now she's living with you. Now all of a sudden it becomes now when you're not satisfied with the relationship, you're living together with her, but you know, you don't have that freedom anymore. It's not as easy to get out of a relationship like that. Once you're sharing bills, once you're sharing a home, once you're it's much more difficult to get out of that. And the point, people say, "Oh, I need to practice this." You're not only practicing being a husband or a wife, you're also practicing divorce at that point because you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't think
Oh, wait a
that's a
minute. Okay,
big
wait a second.
advantage.
Okay, I mean, you're obviously in this conversation. You're obviously uh very I don't want to say uh old
Let's
school
hear it.
thought
What
process.
about
Okay, because you can you can go on the streets, right? And
Yeah.
anybody would tell you this. Anybody. If it's a young person, it'll tell you, I'm gonna go and I love this woman and I marry her. Okay?
Mhm,
You're a man, you go out, you grind, whatever the reason it might be. You come home, she says she's not happy. Okay?
mhm.
If she's not happy, means that actually is almost for certain done. In your mind as a man, she says she's not happy, you're gonna work on trying to make her happy. Right?
Yes.
But you don't know what it is, what didn't make her happy, or why she's not happy. You cannot be not
Mhm.
happy with herself. There's nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah.
So, you come home one day and then you find out she tells you straight up, listen, I met another guy, whatever. Okay.
Mhm.
Back in the day, I mean, there's been cheating all the whole existence of human race has been
Oh,
cheating.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go as close as my grandparents, right? Because I got uncles,
Mhm.
they don't even look alike, bro. Okay. But they stayed married. They have the same last name. But
Yeah.
I'm positive that my aunt and my uncle, they are only related by one gender. 100%. There's
Mm.
no doubt in my mind that
Oh,
that's
yeah,
it.
I've seen that, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Right? But they
Yeah, yeah.
stayed married.
Yeah.
Okay? Those two people stayed married. They're married. They've been married for 50 something years. Right? Now they're both passed, but I'm still looking at that situation. And I know nowadays people are not going to take that, bro. You are out of the building.
I think that's wrong, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's wrong.
You're gonna stay with your girl, even though she have a kid by another guy?
No, that's a different situation.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. See,
but I'm
the
gonna be
norms
honest with
back in the
you.
day no, the norms back in the day were different. I don't know if I don't I can't tell you what they were, but I've seen it time after time. You even witness it. It happens. So what
Yeah,
you
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
that's true, but still, the point, I don't think people should live together before they're engaged, before there's a full
Okay,
commitment.
okay.
It
So
cheating
wait
is
a minute.
gonna happen regardless. That
No, no,
still
no. Two
does not speak against, the points that speak for not doing it. I mean,
Okay, wait a minute.
there's
I
so
got
many
another one.
advantages of waiting actually, especially because of
Person.
cheating, of
No,
commitment
no, no. Hang
issues and
on,
stuff like
hang
that.
on, hang on. This is very personal related. Okay, I have
Right.
a different personal experience. You have a different person. I have a different approach. You have a different. So we can talk about this a whole day. But the thing
Mhm,
that I want to emphasize is this: if I have a girlfriend, okay, if I have a girlfriend and we're not married, we have kids outside of wedlock, and we've been together for 20 years,
mhm.
going on 30 years. Okay, is that in your mind blasphemy? Yes or no?
Ask the question again, sorry. Say it
There
again.
are there are couples, a
Right.
man and a woman. They're not married,
Mhm.
but they're living together for 2 decades. They have
Yes.
children together.
Uh-huh.
In the best case, they even have grandchildren together.
Mhm.
Is that in your mind blasphemy? Yes or no?
I think, um, I don't think I mean, if it works, I'm not saying there's not gonna be, um, exceptions to the rule, obviously. Obviously, there's an exception to the rule in everything, but that does not make the general statement that living before engagement or marriage is a
Where I'm
bad
where I'm
idea.
heading with that where I'm heading with that question is that marriage, right? I could tell you exactly the reason I got married. Okay, I was
Mhm.
11 years with my girlfriend. 11 years with her. Okay, and I married her when we got pregnant with my
Mhm.
firstborn and her firstborn. When we got pregnant with our firstborn, and I made a conscious decision. Actually, I asked myself this question: I've already given her my heart. I already given her everything I have, right? And she is giving me now this human being that's
Right.
ours. Only thing left for me to give her is my last name. You
Mhm.
understand?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so there is the reason I got married. I didn't get married with her because I think after 11 years she's gonna run. I gave her my last name because that was my only treasure that I had left to prove to her that she is my one and only. See, now that has nothing to do because let's say if she wasn't pregnant and we were living together, we would be probably living together today still. She is going nowhere. A woman and a man that's in love and love each other and tolerate and can work together in a household, complementing each other. That means when I'm out of work, she gonna grind. If I grind, whatever, and we can bounce back and forth and make things happen. Doesn't mean that because we're married, we're gonna stay together, or because we're not married, we're not gonna stay together. If you're not happy, you don't stay together. If you're happy, you stay together. That's my point.
Well,
That's my
you know,
only.
you're a businessman, right? You've been a businessman all your life. I'm a businessman. I understand business. So when I mean, that's a really good point. Marriage is specifically for the children because the way I look at it as a businessman from a business perspective, when you're um, starting a family, that's like a company. A company has everybody in it shares a name. They share everything. Whatever the company owns and whoever the shareholders of the company are, which is going to be in that case, the two people that are married and then the children, and whatever the company produces. So whatever you produce within that marriage, the other partner owns as well and profits from it as well. So it's kind of like starting a company and running a company. You have the head of the household, the CEO. You have the vice president, the woman. Sometimes it's the other way around, but the typical is the man is the head of the household. The CEO is going to be responsible for every action that the children take, that the woman takes. He's going to be responsible for everything. Same thing in a household. Whatever the woman does, whatever the children do, the father is going to be responsible for that. So it's kind of like a company. A marriage is for children. It's an institute for raising children. That's what marriage is about. So I still stand, obviously people can do whatever they want, But if you're gonna date and date without a purpose, that's, for example, not very beneficial. Obviously, there's people who have no intention of ever having children and then just dating and living together, perfectly fine. Do whatever you want. But if you have intention, if your intention is reaching the highest level and reproducing and having a family and all that stuff, then I still stand by to wait until you engage, until you've made that commitment to have the high, because obviously you want to have the highest probability of staying together and having a successful marriage, which is going to be, because when you move in together without having that commitment, it's the line is very blurry, you know? Because like I always say, you got 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and you're wasting or you're gonna be spending money, you're gonna spend energy, you're gonna get, attached to this person, and it's gonna be painful on a different level if you guys decide to break up in compared to if you got your own place, she's got her own place, you guys are a couple, but you're not living together until you decide, "Okay, we wanna make that next step. Let's get engaged. I know who you are. I know who your family is. You know who I am, who my family is." The intention is we wanna start a family. So then let's get engaged and then move in together. I don't see a reason why couples move in together without, um, having that commitment. I mean, I've seen all kinds of stuff, but I've been through a lot of stuff, and the most painful breakups for me were and the most difficult ones were with women that I lived with, where we did not have that commitment. We, we shared bills, we shared a life, we shared a bed, we shared the air, we shared everything, food. We had everything, but then we break up. That was to me as painful as a divorce. And to shield yourself from that pain and from having that on you, because once I had that experience and then I went to my next person, I had to start all over. And I'm on this much higher level of experience compared to this other person, and I have this pain that I'm carrying with me. It like a normal breakup for me took maybe 6 months to get over. I mean, if I was with a girl for, like, 2 years, 3 years, and then we broke up and, but we didn't live together, it was very different. It took me, like, 6 months to get over them, and it was okay. But then when I lived with a girl, and then even if it was, like, for 2 years, and then we broke up, for me, it took years to get over this woman because I had hopes. I was investing myself into this woman because I was expecting this is gonna be my wife. And then once we broke up, it tore me apart. It took years then to get over this person, and I didn't see and then I just don't see the reason why go through all that when, there's not a clear commitment from both parties that our plan is that this is going to lead to marriage.
Okay, I'm gonna
What's
say
your
something.
experience on that?
Well, I'm listening to this, and I only hear, with respect to you, I'm gonna say this though. I only hear I. There's no I in team, bro. So if the thing is this,
Well, I mean, if I'm
no, no, hang
experiencing it.
on. You had your
Yeah, okay,
moment.
go
You had
ahead,
your
go ahead,
moment.
go
You
ahead, go
get
ahead, go ahead.
mine. Now, this is the thing. There is no, because you can't tell why someone is unhappy, and obviously when you break up and it hurts so much, and you want to and you didn't know that it's going to take you as long as it did for you to get over it. You had to get some therapy or whatever. Okay, because this is what it is though. I can guarantee, because this you have several businesses, right? And we talked about earlier that this is, you have to go about it as a business. So some people, especially in the COVID period, uh, all of a sudden they had nothing. All of a sudden their whole 10-year legacy, or even a company that your grandfather built, is gone. Okay, because of crisis, because of COVID, because of whatever. And some people just don't bounce back. And some people turn around, figure something out, and make it happen. That's the difference between us, all people on earth. We're all different, right? It takes you as long as it takes you for you to bounce back and get back in the game. And there's no way of protecting yourself in that because there's always two people in this game. There's always two people with total different ways of going about uh, whatever it is in their lives. You know, the things that we go through together is not the only thing you go through. Especially as a man, you can vouch for that because when you're out there hustling or working hard or taking shit from your boss or whatever it is, right? You don't take that home with you. You don't take that frustration home with you because you want to come home and be the dad and the husband and the provider and the one that brings the peace. Correct? So in that case, um, you are bringing trash from the outside in, and it could be bugging you. And then if it bugs you as much that you're short tempered, you can ruin your marriage if you can't deal with it. You understand? And there's no protection for not for her that actually has nothing to do with the amount of trash you decide to take, and not for you that is given moment you just went out, do your thing, come home, and she says, I'm not happy, I want a divorce. So married or not married, that will not change any dynamics. Not especially not today. Because today is just a fact that if people feel that they feel that's not even realistic because there's also a million podcasts on YouTube that can show you that a lot of women ask for divorce, got a divorce, are divorced, and then hit the wall and come back and go like, "Man, I wish I had my husband back," and stuff like that. So you look outside the window, the grass is green on the other side. So you think, "Hey, why am I taking this? Why am I dealing with his temper? Why am I dealing with You never sat down with your man and tell him, baby,
Yeah,
what
but
are you going through this?
that is a completely different, topic
No,
because
no, no. Hang
what
on,
my
hang on.
well,
The topic is why people are getting divorced. I'm
no,
just
that's not why they get that's not the topic. Topic is why you should not live with somebody well, my point is you should the question is, should
What
people live
changed?
together
Nothing
before
can change. This is my thing. My thing is this: nothing changes if you're married or not. We're married in the dynamic house. Nothing changes
absolutely.
because
I'll give you one
because
example.
somebody
I'll
leaves.
give you one
If somebody want
example.
to leave, he or she will leave, hands down.
I'll give you one example where it absolutely changes. There's not I mean, in my case, what I've experienced as well on both sides. So when you live with somebody, you're playing marriage, but one person is still seeing, well, let's see how it goes. The other person is
You
investing for
don't know.
marriage.
You
Well,
can't
yes,
tell.
you do know because
How do you know?
you know the thing about what you said. One good thing to go about how to go about this is have a questionnaire, right? Like ask a few questions, figure out certain things before you move in together, right?
Right.
But why? I mean, engagement is figuring out a huge part of that equation,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You
right?
losing me totally. This one, you're losing me totally. Unless you ask a question, you are right now trying to tell me that you have a glass bowl under your fucking pillow. Sorry, it's for the curse. You have a glass bowl under your pillow where you can tell what your partner is going through or what he's thinking.
That's not
No
even what
way.
we that's not even that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, look, in there
How can
is
you
no
think that you
guarantees.
know what somebody else is thinking or going through?
That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is there is no guarantees. But if you wanna have the highest success rate, I'm not saying there's no guarantees. Obviously, you can get engaged and then the engagement is, called off. Obviously, all that can happen. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is because there's such a high risk, and let's be honest, the highest risk in this whole entire equation is all of it is, or most of it is going to sit on the woman. She's going to have the highest hit if this does not work out.
Oh, I don't agree.
I absolutely agree.
Okay, you
I'll
give
demonstrate
me
to you.
your example. Okay, okay,
I'll
let's put it like
demonstrate
this.
to you how.
Let
I'll
me wait a
demonstrate to
minute.
you how.
Wait a minute.
I'll demonstrate to you how.
Wait a minute.
It's true.
Wait a minute. Hang on, hang on. I
Okay, go
think
ahead.
that statement you have right there is a statement based on your location.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
we
because if
are
you're in
in the
America,
Western
trust me,
world.
you lose
We're in the
everything.
Western world, right?
Yeah, no, no, America's Western. So that's not what we're talking about. Well, I'm talking about that's why I felt, oh, wait a minute. Because listen, we're speaking English and we're talking to the world. I don't know how it is in China. I don't know how it is in Timbuktu, but I know how it is in America and I know how it is in Europe.
Well,
In
we can.
Europe, in Europe,
I'm
we can get away with a little bit. Okay? As a
I'm
man.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we can agree
In
on the
America, you
fact
can't
that
get away with
it does
nothing.
not matter where you live. If you're a woman, if you're a woman, you're gonna get judged by your past, and if you're a man, you're gonna get judged by your future, by your potential for the future. That's just
Bro,
how
what are
the
you
dynamic.
talking about?
Well, I'll demonstrate to you. It does not matter if you're in China, India, Africa, wherever you are. A woman, the way women pick men is they look at the potential a man has or the way his future looks like. So if he has the potential to be wealthy or if he has resources, that has not changed for thousands of years. And in return, a male looks, what does the woman's past look like? Women are born with intrinsic value on the dating market. All they got to do is just pick. They don't have to do anything. They have value. Men used to go to war for virgins. In today's world, women have started devaluing themselves. And the same with men. But a woman is obviously in that dynamic. If she goes and lives with a man, she's gonna get judged for that and all the experience she has had with the next dude. The next person she meets, he's gonna judge her because what is she bringing now of value to him? If she already had all this experience, what has she saved for her husband? That's the way she's gonna get judged. And it does not matter where she lives. That I mean, obviously, there's some countries in Africa, and there's some, but this is only 0.3% of the world where these dynamics just don't apply. But for most of the world, this is still even today. People, women get judged for their past, men get judged for their potential and future.
All right. Now, okay, I'm gonna give this to you just not to go against the wave on everything you say. All right?
Okay, I mean,
Because this is the
let's
thing.
we could
Hang on.
have a vote. We could have a vote in the
Yeah,
comments.
you
You know what I mean?
you'll see that once you ask for the votes in the comments, you're gonna get burned, man. This episode though
I
is not
don't
gonna
think
work.
so, man. I don't think
I'm
so.
telling you
I think
because
you're wrong, brother.
this is my
I
take
think
on
you're
most of
wrong
your.
on this.
I mean,
I think any
well,
masculine man.
but give me my point. Give me my flowers, okay? I've been around this one a little bit longer than you.
Well, I'll be
That don't mean
obviously you're dealing with a
that don't
different
mean that I know
age
everything, but it
group.
does mean that I had some scenarios, okay? I can tell you this, and this is not scenarios from my own life, but obviously scenarios in the world that I've been wondering for over 60 years. This is what I see. I see a well-kept 40-year-old woman that's actually a grandmother at this point that is getting wooed by a very intellectual, good-looking man that saw her, got blown away, and just was like, she has to be mine. Okay? So a woman never, ever loses value, no matter if she's 90. A woman never,
We're talking
ever
about
loses
the
value.
market, the dating market value.
My
We're not
brother,
talking about as a
I'm
human. We're not
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
as a
no.
human.
I don't correct me, brother. I said because we know we're talking about dating. A woman never loses value. Okay.
Well,
Well,
I don't know about that, man.
yeah.
I
Well,
can
I mean,
with a
I know,
simple
I
question.
know.
With
Why don't you let me talk? I let you talk,
yeah,
right?
go ahead, go ahead.
Right. Okay. So why would I say that? The women of this, the human being women. I don't talk about dogs or whatever. I'm talking about women, right? They still hold access to sex. Okay, and that is the most important thing that could make or ruin a man's self-confidence. Once he can get that access, you see he'll get more confidence. That is the key to becoming a successful man. Confidence. Okay? You might agree, you might not agree, but that's just what it is. The man that has a lot of access has the potential to become a successful man because of his self esteem, because he feels good
Oh,
about himself.
absolutely, I agree.
Okay?
I'm not
So,
disputing that part.
no, okay.
So you're right in that sense. I haven't seen it
So,
from that perspective. You're right. There's but I'm
right. So now we go. Um, you, for instance, let's say you were married and you have 3 kids. You divorce your wife. Your wife has a new boyfriend. Do you think she is going to be appreciated because she is now available for another man, or is she going to be judged by all the other men that says, "Oh, you got 3 kids, you're worthless"? What do you think?
I don't this that's absolutely correct. There's always a man that's gonna be just happy not to be having to jerk off and instead have a woman. I agree, absolutely. But you have to
Well,
view it
that's the
also
value.
from
You understand?
you
That's
also
the
have
value you're
well,
talking
that is value, absolutely. But we're talking about absolutely the best outcome. We're not talking about just any outcome. A
Okay, let
woman
me put it like this. You can still, because you're much younger than me and you're fit and everything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just what it is. You can talk about the best option and so on. I'm 60 plus,
Yeah,
okay?
so that
And
is
hang
age
on.
dependent what we're talking about. So
Exactly.
in my
That's
case yeah, yeah, absolutely, I agree. We have to make that clear for the listeners. His perspective is for the older generation. I absolutely agree. At your age, yeah, you're not looking for a woman to have kids with anymore, right?
no,
You've got
I do
kids,
not
she's
care.
got kids. Now you're just looking for a companion. Yes, for a
Yeah, it's got to be a
companion
hot companion though, because we're
oh,
still
it's got
men, we're
yeah,
still
it's gotta be
visual.
a high, I agree, I agree. But, for the younger listeners and for like, if I were to advise my own son, he's just starting out in the dating world. I'm gonna I'm gonna want him to have the highest success rate. If my son is a high value, a person and a man in the dating market in the sense that he's got a good job, he has a lot of money, he's got wisdom, he's got, a good character, he's fit, everything a woman would want, right? In return, because that as a man takes a lot of work to get that. A young man is not taken serious, right? A hot 18-year-old a woman can get on a yacht much, much easier than an 18-year-old man. She can get on in that kind of circle just by being young and beautiful. A man is gonna have to prove himself. So if a man builds all that, right, he's gonna expect a certain level. Um, he's not just gonna take because he's got options, he's not just gonna take a woman with 4 kids or 2
Okay,
kids,
all
right?
right. Okay,
Obviously,
okay.
he's gonna pick the best option, which is gonna be a
I'm
woman.
gonna I'm gonna bring something to the table that's really
Let me
unexpected.
just finish this one point. Um, Obviously, he's gonna pick a woman that has never had a partner because in that his position, it would devalue him as a man that another man can come or even 10 men or 20 men can come and say, "Oh, I did this and this to your girl, to you." You know what I mean? It is devaluing at that point. Now, this all depends at what age you're starting out. Even now at my age, at 40, I'm not gonna expect, to be a woman that doesn't have a past. I'm gonna have to settle for less, right? But at the beginning, at the prime, at your prime, the woman's prime, the male's prime,
I
I
mean,
I would
this is
assume
very theoretically. I must say, I'm letting you talk and I'm listening to you very, very carefully. Better than I ever done. Um,
okay. Yeah,
you
so
know,
I think I
and
think a very
I'm saying
masculine man,
I'm
in his
saying
prime is gonna expect us, look for a certain type of, woman, right?
well,
A woman
well,
without experience. That is the most valuable to a man, a woman that does not have experience, but a woman wants a
well,
man that does have experience. It's
well,
just opposites, right?
well. Um, it's theoretically,
Well, it's
it's theoretically correct,
yeah,
but life doesn't work on paper.
I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
so if you meet a woman, I'm gonna use something. I don't live with these people, but this is something that I heard from the horse's mouth. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
Timberland, the producer, was in
Mhm.
love and having serious intentions with Aliyah.
Uh-huh.
Aliyah died. Okay,
Yeah.
and he was devastated for years. And all of a sudden, he's standing in a club, and he thought he saw Aliyah in the club. So he's like, I'm having a deja vu here." He
Mhm.
turned to the guy. He was like, what was this? You know? And Timberland had one thing, one straight rule. He would never date a woman that already had a child by another man,
Uh-huh.
ever. Okay? But now he's standing in this club and he's looking at this woman. This woman is looking at him, and he's like, oh my God, that's her. Okay? So they decided to go out. They had dates, and this woman just came out because she knows, because he's very vocal about that. And she knows that, listen, I have a child. I'm sorry. So it's probably never going to work with us. And she left, right? Because he was so vocal about that situation, she never took him seriously because she thought he only wanted to smash. He only wanted a little eye candy on his side. And she wasn't about to become nobody's eye candy, right? Because she's
Right.
like, you're obviously not gonna do anything serious with me because I have a child, which you said yourself. And Timberland ended up breaking all of his own rules. So that says to me the following: not because he's a high level man, but he's a man. Visually, if the woman hits the mark, psychologically, is the woman hits the mark. And one thing you can count on, that if a woman has a child, and this is not a rule because your wife never had one, but she's very special because she's very feminine. Okay, but
Uh-huh.
on the most cases, a woman that has a child is a feminine woman, can be a feminine woman. It can also be a masculine woman, but it could be also a very attentive, warm, giving human being. So there's no way of saying that, hey, if you got a child, you're this, or if you don't have a child, you're that. Because I know a lot of girls and women that have no kids that I wouldn't spend 10 minutes with on a fucking coffee table, let alone my bed.
I absolutely agree, and I love that you brought brought the balance to my statement, because this is the type of the type of stuff that currently everybody, all the women and men get to hear. This is what's being spread online. This very black and white type of rhetoric, right? About around this type of topic,
Right.
but I've experienced the same thing, you know? Um, the woman that I ended up, marrying, before, my partner now, had the highest, level of experience of partners. I would have never accepted that, but there were so many different things, um, where that were just perfect, where it was just like, "Okay, well, it's not a big issue." So, yes, that's absolutely true. There are cases, and it does happen more than people think. It's not black and white, where, you know, even in Timberland's case, I mean, he could have anybody pretty much at his,
Endless, pretty much. Yes.
status, but he chose a woman that already had a kid, right?
Right.
And, so that's absolutely true. What I'm also but what I still would like to, what I wanna instill in my son and my daughters is, the goal is the ultimate, the best outcome. It's the best option.
Well,
I want my daughter to have absolutely the best options in the dating market by, keeping her innocence, preparing herself for her future husband, in a way that it's not gonna cause conflict because of some past
I mean,
um,
as you said,
situation.
this is
But
life, right?
it's life, yeah,
He
life
can
hits.
have
So,
he
but
can have a a perfect Max Verstappen type guy, nerdy, multimillionaire, successful, and the guy dies, and all of a sudden she's standing
Absolutely.
there,
Yeah,
and
now
she's
all of a sudden,
she's gonna get marked as, oh, that's a chick with two kids and no
yeah,
daddy,
absolutely.
right?
So
Because
that's absolutely true, what you're
so
saying.
no, because then nobody's gonna go back and go like, yeah, but it was Mark Verstappen. No, it was just a dude, and he had two kids with her, and he's no
Yeah,
longer there. So she's
exactly,
trash. All right.
exactly.
So she's trash. That's so let me put it like this because I know that the listeners kind of like know that we're twirling around the pot. This is the thing I have that I want to leave behind with all and everybody that's listening. We as parents always want the best scenario for our kids. If we had the question, if we had the choice to choose, we would want the best for our kids. But in general, all we truly care about is that our kids are happy. Our kids are with someone that can give them the room to grow mentally, especially mentally. Because when you're in a relationship, it's very, because this is a person you share your bed with, regardless if you're a man or a woman, the person you share your bed with has direct access to your mind. So if you're getting terrorized by your husband, or you're getting, how do you say, disrespected by your wife, your self esteem is going to turn to mush. And when it does, you're no good for anybody, including yourself. That's what I want to leave you with.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you've heard now my perspective why you should wait. You've heard reasons why it doesn't matter. Um, I would suggest put your experience in the comments, and let's see what our listeners come up with, and put your experience in there. I'm very interested to see, does your experience match what I've experienced, and where to the point where I say now, no, never. I don't want to do that. It's not fair to the woman. It's not fair to me. I can wait until we've reached that point where we can make that commitment and then go to the next steps. Or, do you say, like June says, well, it does not matter if you love each other, you can live together, you can see if it works out, then you get the person better to know, and then you can decide from there. So, June, do you have you said everything you wanted to say, right?
Well,
About this.
the thing is that I want everybody to win,
Right.
because these are hard issues, you know,
Yes,
hard
absolutely.
hard issues. You make a wrong move, you need time to recuperate, you need time to
Yeah.
heal,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, if I can please mess in your private life, see if you ever get a chance to find that questionnaire, because it's gonna save you a whole lot of hurt. It's gonna save you a whole lot of disappointments. It's gonna save you a whole lot of time because you do not want to move in or commit yourself to someone that's not able to commit.
Right.
So, I'm,
Exactly.
and that's the thing. Nobody is above or under to being healed or to becoming a better person, because we've seen killers become priests. We've seen all of this happen in this world. So, we always have to keep an open mind. But on the other side, if you are going to make an investment in time with your spouse, your partner, make sure that it's the right partner.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time, June. As always,
Dr. Joe, thank you so much.
it was very interesting talking to you. Um, Learned a few things. I hope
Same here.
you
Same
know,
here.
we're always learning and improving as we're going as well. So, yeah, thank you for your time, and until next time.
Until next time, my brother. Call me when you need me.